getimt. Ich habe einfach nur ein bisschen Kram gemacht, vorbereitet und auf einmal LOL, das ist witzig. Interesting. Aber immer mal ein bisschen dein Parabble. Ich habe mir gedacht, das mit dem, Streaming-Kanal aufräumen, das wird wahrscheinlich super langweilig. Also, gestern war wahrscheinlich auch schon super langweilig. Deswegen mal ein bisschen Stanley Parable. Und das Ding ist, mir ist gestern noch eine Sache aufgefallen. Da ist eigentlich noch mehr. Ich habe die Getränke nicht aufgelistet, aber das ist egal. So, dann Fehler please choose a screen subtitle language. Okay. Warum kann ich nix auswählen? Hallo? Maus? Jetzt. Okay, Deutsch. Bitte wähle die Sprache mit Bildschirmtext mit Untertitel. Ja. Hast du Stable Parable schon mal gespielt? Ja. Das Gefühl gerade noch sichtbar ist. Okay. Ja, ein bisschen heller. Wegen OBS-Stuff und so. Mache ich da mal so. Bitte gib die aktuelle Zeit ein. 19:47, okay. Oh ne, Oh ne, das ist AM und PM, Uff. Ja, dann mach einfach 8 Uhr, lol. Einstellungen zur Barrierefreiheit können wohl das Hauptmenü vorgenommen werden. Okay. Dann, ja, das Spiel beginnen. Bin mal gespannt, was hier so anders ist.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Mhm.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Ja, das ist schön, dass er happy ist.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Oha.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, cooles Bild. 429,
All of his
430.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Weiß ich
Stanley
nicht.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Aus. Mal schnell den Computer ausmachen. Müssen Strom sparen oder so, keine Ahnung. Was ist hier passiert? Nein, dahin. Kann ich nicht. I hate Mondays, ich auch. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nö.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Will er das?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to
Cooles
spend a
Bild.
few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Falterings.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nö.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Warning, do not jump from the... Oh, massive car. Why don't you jump off the cargo lift? Ja, spreche nicht vom Cargo Lift.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Oh,
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
cool. Nett. Hat sich gelohnt.
All of his co-workers were, oh,
Welches?
please.
Ja,
Really just
Top
doing this for the
430.
achievement?
Genau.
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times.
Okay,
I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
dann machen wir das. Wir haben nicht
I
mitgezählt.
have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing
Warum
true
nicht?
effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do.
Okay.
Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Mal 50. Kriegen wir auch hin, die 50 Klicks. Okay. Ja.
No,
Also,
I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417? Okay, wo ist 417? Nee. Hier.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Okay. 437, wo bist du? Hä? 437? 436? Ah ja, unten.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Okay, 415. Ey.
Now, back to door number 437.
Okay. Hä? Meine Güte, gib mir doch endlich das Achievement. Hä? Achso, das war ja hier, genau.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Meine Güte.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Komm ich denn da hoch?
Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Okay.
We've
This is-
almost got it. Now the copy machine, do that one again.
Ich glaube, er ist ein bisschen zu gehypt. Kann das sein?
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 430. Yes! We did
Hey!
it!
Yes!
Oh, wow.
Er hält es
That's
so
amazing.
rumschafft.
Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very
Cool.
proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now? What were you thinking?
Das dachte ich mir nur dabei. Ganz schwierig. Kann ich eigentlich?
When Stanley came to a
Nein.
set of 2 open doors,
Nein,
he
geht
had
er
to look
nicht.
this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
ich kann nicht
first,
gucken.
just
Cool.
to admire it.
Na,
Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein, tut er nicht. Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh Gott,
But
das
in
wollte
his
ich nicht
eagerness
mal.
to prove that he is in control of the
Das
story
wollte ich
and
nicht
no one
mal.
gets
Oh
to tell him
Gott.
what to do, Stanley leapt
Ja,
from the
ja, ja, ja,
platform
ja.
and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
The end is never. Okay. Wie du
All of
sagst.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Weiß ich
decided to go
nicht.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Kann nicht springen. Oh, du kannst nicht springen. Cool.
When
Achievement.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted
Kann
to
ich die Achievement anschauen? Nee.
stop by the
Aber
employee
Steam
lounge
wahrscheinlich.
first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art.
Nein, war es
But
nicht.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open
So, jetzt aber
door
richtig.
left.
Nächstes Mal nicht runterfallen. Ganz wichtig.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look,
Okay.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I
Sicher?
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story
Oh, da
has
hinten ist
been
ein
about nothing but
Hinweisschild.
you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Oh.
Are you that
Okay.
convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something
Oh,
beautiful.
buckets.
Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nö.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want
Yeah.
to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see, there's nothing here.
Oha.
I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
Warum denn
Broken
nicht?
rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was
Ja.
it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill
Yeah.
trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third
Ooh.
option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version.
Okay, schon
Would
willkommen.
you say that the game benefited from
Alles gut.
allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly
Okay.
candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one.
Bin ich
Let's
gespannt.
take a look.
Nee, ist kein Horror-Game. So, wo sind wir denn? Oh Gott. Nee, genau that. Oha. A dead rat? This is you, Stanley. Ja, ich habe noch gar nicht 7 Stunden gespielt. Das ist Lüge. Well, some friends ask some friend for help. Right list is empty. Oha. Okay.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard
Nein.
helps you feel motivated
Lüge.
to keep walking through the
1.
doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey,
Mach
I
nicht,
nearly
pack
forgot
das
I've got a
an. Oh
prototype
Gott.
of the
Ich
new
weiß gar nicht,
game
wo ich
I've
die
been
bitte
working on, and now would be a
gefunden.
lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a
Nein,
look
hier
at
fehlt
it,
eine
would you?
Batterie.
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Hier fehlt eine Batterie.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he
Hä, wo hab ich
reaches
die
the
dritte
fire,
Batterie?
you fail. It's a very meaningful game. All about the
Verdammt.
desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really
hatte die doch
take
irgendwo.
notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play
Baby.
to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Also eigentlich... Oh Gott.
You heartless bastard.
Hallo?
Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for
Okay.
playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so
Ich hab's noch
awful,
an, alles
why don't we
gut.
play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Okay. Was haben wir jetzt? Das ist doch...
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious
Ich hab den Namen vergessen. Firewatch oder irgendwie sowas.
spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some
Ja, das
sort
ist
of
auch cool.
twisted erotic purpose.
Das ist doch nice, ne?
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more.
Rock Alaska.
Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Multiple. Genau, ja, das ist schon nice. So. Ja, guter Mod auf so jeden Fall. Okay.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
Was kann's nicht?
It is. It's an open world game.
Doch
Good
cool.
God, quickly block it off.
Nein!
Thank goodness.
3
Stanley,
Tage?
what a
Oha.
close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big open, just wandering around.
Diese
no
Woche habe
right
ich
or
keinen
wrong
Streamplan.
directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any. Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley.
Erst nächste Woche habe ich wieder einen Streamplan.
Let's find another.
Diese Woche mache ich alles spontan.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Vor allem wegen Samstag.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Okay. Oh mein Gott.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in.
Das
There
ist
isn't
doch,
any
wie heißt das?
possibility that you could get lost here. Now
Rocket
this
League.
is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Das würde ich sogar schaffen. Rocket League. Ich glaube,
so
da
what
fehlt was.
exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown
Wo
together.
Fortnite, weiß ich nicht.
I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Wo ist... Oh mein Gott. Yo. Weg. Hey. Ab ins Tor mit dir.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun?
Yes.
Is it better than my miserable little story that I
Ja,
worked
es
so
ist.
hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I
kann
realize
nicht
I'm not
springen,
a
verdammt.
sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then
Kann
surely
ich nicht rennen?
multiple balls makes for an
Nee,
even
schade.
more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes
Explosion,
another
gute
ball.
Frage. Oh mein Gott. Noch ein Ball.
Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more.
Geh rein.
I'm insatiable.
Meine Güte.
More balls.
Da geht nicht, wann ich rein. Oh mein Gott, wie viele Bälle. Nice. Alle reinmachen. Oh Gott, das krieg ich nicht hin. Oh nice, der Ball ist reingegangen. Yo.
Are you enjoying this?
Ich kann nicht springen im
Having
Spiel.
fun? Is this a real
Ja,
video
ist
game?
es.
Well, I sure hope you're having a good time because guess what?
Nein,
It's
ist es nicht.
over.
Tschüss.
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't
Blank.
do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Ich glaube, ich bin... Ich weiß nicht. Oh Gott, wo bin ich? Ja, das sieht interesting aus. Und der ist weg, der Erzähler. Das ist doch cool. Kein Erzähler. Ein nerviger Erzähler. Ist das nicht toll? Unterschiedlich. Ist immer unterschiedlich, wie lange ich streame. Gerade habe ich gerade gar kein Projekt, deswegen mache ich es auch alles spontan. Hm. So. Hm. So. Huch. What happened?
I wonder what he found. If what he
Ich
wanted was
auch.
to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I
Oha.
was trying to tell him. He needs
Hm.
me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos
Aber
and the
das
fear
Geheimnis
and the
ist,
confusion. That's who I am. That is what
ich
I
habe meinen
mean
Stream
to
immer am
this
Handy
world.
offen,
Oh, yes.
damit
Yes,
ich
I'll be
immer mindestens
back.
einen
Right
Zuschauer habe.
away. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Dann warte mal. Oha. Hey, willkommen mit dem Handy-Account. So, 430
All of his
Erfolg haben wir schon
co-workers were
gemacht.
gone. What could
Das
it
war schon
mean?
witzig.
Stanley decided
Ich
to go
nix
to the
Deutsch.
meeting. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So. Was machen wir diesmal? Ich only Shoe Manager sein schon. Ach so, okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ja, tut er das mal wirklich. Warum? Kannst du ruhig machen, aber es gibt
Yet
nicht
there was
wirklich
not a
Sinn.
single person here either.
Do not
Feeling a
alter
wave of
without
disbelief,
weil
Stanley
Bordwege.
decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might
Meeting
find an answer there.
Schedule. Na wow, hat er wirklich gemacht. Wow. Weekly Target ein AT, Weekly Review, Marketing Mondays, Combination Tuesday, Real Browsing Wednesday, Offline Efficiency. Okay. Tomorrow. Unfinished irgendwas, mir egal. Number of slides oder Slide. Du. Ah, okay.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Nö. Bleib hier. Ich mag's hier.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Ich mag's hier. Ich mag den Karton und das alles. Und das da.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Ja, was
As
zu
it is,
interagieren.
He's literally just standing there doing sweep buffet.
Ich hab was, womit ich interagieren kann. Was sagst du jetzt?
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Ja.
Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Ich nicht. Ich mag's hier.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Jetzt hast du sie aber erwähnt. Ich mag's hier. Und den
Maybe
Schatten.
to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite. I hope your friends find this concerning.
Nö, glaube ich nicht.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Okay.
He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
What? Oh, interessiert mich nicht.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Okay.
You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Sicher?
You too. Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Was ist mit Twitch doof? Oha. Kann ich auch mal rein? Nö, okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nö. Ah, fahr ruhig. So.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished.
Wie ist es gehen, wenn man kann dann nur einstellen? Ja, das ist, nee, das geht leider nicht. Ich glaube, das geht, wenn man Affiliate ist oder Partner, glaube ich, dann kann man das machen, aber so geht das, glaube ich, nicht.
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of
Nee, leider
existence
nicht.
in a single moment.
Oder ich bin auch so doof dafür, das kann auch sein.
No reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley
Ja, Woche aber in der... Ja, okay, dann ist
pondered
cool.
this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Stimmt.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an
Kannst
answer,
alles
an
machen, was?
explanation.
Krass.
His co-workers weren't actually gone.
Ach stimmt, du
He
kannst auf
wasn't going
WhatsApp
to lose his
lauen.
job. He wasn't crazy
Stimmt.
after all.
Warum auch immer das
He
geht.
thought to himself,
Ach, wegen
I
Editor
suppose I'll
wahrscheinlich.
wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So,
Fehlt nur noch die E-Mail-Adresse von meinem Streaming-Kanal und das Passwort, dann kannst du auch darauf
imagined
zugreifen.
himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Das ist...
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
Oh.
It was so much fun, and Stanley
Too much.
marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
Weil ich glaube, ich auch
And
2
then perhaps the
FA-Verifizierung, also
strangest
würde nicht
question
mal
of
was
them all
bringen.
entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and
Ich glaube, ich
wondered
habe die
if this
schon
voice spoke to all
geuploadet.
people in their dreams,
Bin dir
he
nicht sicher,
thought that,
oder?
of course,
Nee, von
this
gestern habe ich
couldn't
nicht
be.
geuploadet.
How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take
Dann
responsibility
schauen, was ich
for himself?
geuploadet habe.
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Roblox mit euch und Tebe spielt ist das letzte.
Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Okay.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
Ja, das wäre schon cool, wenn du es machen kannst, wenn du es machen würdest. Weil ich vergesse das auch super oft.
Okay.
Und dann mache ich mir immer Sorgen wegen den 7 Tagen. 7 Tagen wird es gelöscht immer.
Wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real.
Oh Gott, was passiert? Laut. What happened?
This is the story of a woman named
Okay,
Mariella.
cool.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
There's
She rose,
Mariella.
got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself. And then
Highlight, nee, die habe ich glaube ich schon. Nee, Highlights, nee, die kommen auf einem anderen Kanal.
To go call for an ambulance. For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Okay.
Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. Interesting. Kann ich eigentlich auch?
But Stanley
Nice.
simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh. Witzig. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ja. New Content? Wollen wir da rein? Nein. Neuer Content. Dafür bin ich doch hier. Okay.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Okay.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Okay.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Oh, new content.
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Ich auch. Okay.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go.
Oh.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Bin mal gespannt auf den neuen Inhalt.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content.
Ja,
Give me the
unterschiedlich.
content,
Meistens
Stanley.
1945. 1945 meistens, aber manchmal auch 2115.
All right, let's see.
The Jump Circle.
The Jump Circle?
New Content. Aber Samstag kann ich jetzt schon sagen, falls ich Samstag überhaupt streamen werde, wird sehr viel später, weil wir eine Stunde länger aufhaben. Morgen keine Ahnung. Diese Woche ist alles spontan. Den lasse ich übrig. Cool.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Samstag bin ich 21:30 wahrscheinlich nicht mal zu Hause.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is
Das
new content,
könnte sogar
then I
sein,
could
dass ich
just read you
da
the whole
maybe.
dictionary. There's 20 hours
Aber ich weiß
of
nicht, ob
new
ich Samstag
content
streamen
right there.
werde.
Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The
Oder ob ich
Stanley
dann schon
Parable
dead bin.
Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content, and oh wait, there's more.
Oh,
Very good. Yes, I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it.
sieht cool
I'm
aus
ready for
irgendwie.
whatever it is.
Okay. Thank you for enjoying the new
That's it?
content. Was?
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Twitter existiert nicht
It's my
mehr, das
fault,
ist
Stanley.
X.
I built up
Oh
too much
Gott,
anticipation
nicht auch so
around the
jemand.
new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're
So
still
ein dummer
with me,
Name immer noch.
why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, No gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Okay, dann machen wir das. Oha. Das sieht anders aus.
Psst. Stanley, come over here.
Was ist
In
hier?
the vent. I
Oh, da
want to
wird's.
show you something.
Ah, okay, ist okay. Ja, das stimmt. Oh. Okay.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Was
Take
ist es
a
denn?
look. I call it the Memory Zone.
Okay.
It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life
The
whenever I
Memory
want.
Zone.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory
Stanley
Zone remind you of
Parable.
how wonderful Stanley
Time.
Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013
Don't
when the game
forget.
originally launched?
Back when the Stanley Parable
video
was
games had
released.
integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Zu Weihnachten so einen Fidget-Pen bekommen. Oha. Wie ist er denn? Der besteht aus kleinen Magnets, oder man kann ihn. So ist ja wahrscheinlich auch was für mich. Good Times, das glaube ich, weiß ich nicht, ob es Good Times waren. 2013, das ist schon ein paar Tage her. Oh, First Kiss, my first castle, release of the Stanley Parable. Nice. So Original, Remake. Das ist funny, das glaube ich, dass es funny ist. Kann dann auch in einen Handystift verpasst. Krass. Wer war denn das? Keine Ahnung. War ja on Steam. A trip down memory lane. Smile because it happened. $1? Klassisch. Oha. Cooler Röhrenfernseher. Go outside and play for 5 years. Magnet is strong. Oh, okay. Is it possible to get this achievement? New video game released today. Oha. Oh, das haben wir doch vorhin gesehen, das Bild da. Los Angeles Time. Aber meine Arbeit ist eigentlich relativ nice. Wenn na du. Muss schon zugeben. Ist schon cool dort. Coole Leute. Beta, Work in Progress. Oha. So. Was haben wir hier Schönes? Oh mein Gott.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art. Stanley
Don't
Parable
read
strives
any rules
and then
except this
succeeds
one.
in every game
Lol.
ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand
Noch
and
nicht so lange, ja, das stimmt. Boah. Also bei Netto bin ich nicht so lange, da bin ich nicht mal ein Jahr, aber bei Rewe war ich ungefähr, boah, und das war aber auch nur so ein Minijob. 2 oder 3 Jahre, bin mir nicht so sicher. Kann sein, 2 oder 3 Jahre, irgendwie sowas in der Art. Dann bin ich zu Netto.
all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
Also bei Rewe habe ich halt, ja okay, da will ich noch nicht zu sehr ins Detail gehen, weil Sachen sind passiert. Aber da war ich halt, sagen wir so, bei einer Fremdfirma, Side-Firma eingestellt. Ja, und habe da einfach nur Waren eingeräumt. Bei Netto, Da macht eigentlich jeder alles gefühlt. Also, jeder macht alles dort. Mal machen wir das, mal mache ich das, immer unterschiedlich.
It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Okay. Tasteful. Nostalgic, it was good. Oh, wie viele Monate sind denn das? Wann habe ich da angefangen? War das Februar oder März? Oder wahrscheinlich sogar später. Moment, ich kann nachschauen, glaube ich. Wo habe ich die denn? Nee. Also auf der falsche Account. Nee, nee, nee. No reply. Nee. Accountsname, nee. Gott, wo ist es denn? Kann ich nicht einfach Einkauf? Och nee, jetzt kommen wir ganz zum Einkauf bei Netto Markendiscount auf. Weil wenn ich nach ganz weit unten dingse, habe ich es maybe. Ne, das ist alles King. Das ist GFK, oh, GFG. Keine Ahnung. Rechnung. Wo ist denn? Nee, hey, warum ist Vodafone da, wenn ich hier Netto eingebe? Oder Gamescom? Nee, keine Ahnung. Ich finde es gerade nicht. Ich finde die E-Mail gerade nicht. Also keine Ahnung. Nervt dich da auch was an? Nö. Zum Glück nicht. Wobei ich muss mittlerweile sagen, eine Zeit lang, mittlerweile nervt dieser Satz, ruhig dich wieder. Der Satz nervt mittlerweile manchmal, aber das sagt gefühlt jeder. Ja, oh mein Gott. Aber ich konnte den Chat wirklich nicht sehen.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising,
Soll
and
nach unten
rewarding
gehen.
choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Da komme ich nicht durch. Achso, doch. Ja, ich war da mit TB spielt. War noch nie auf Gamescom. Ja, okay. 5 Stunden Fahrt, oha, aber wir sind auch irgendwie, keine Ahnung, wie lange gefahren. Ja, das suchen uns doch. Ich bin auch super lange dahin gefahren. Weiß ich auch nicht mal so genau.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give.
Ich kann nachschauen. Ich glaube 4, 3, 5 Stunden locker. Deutsche Bahnnavigator. Nee, nicht von hier, sondern von dem Hauptbahnhof da. Nach Köln, Messe Deutz. 3 Stunden. War das ICE? Das ist ICE. Für ICE 3 Stunden und 5 Minuten. Oha. Krass. Oder mit einem IC für 4 Stunden und 59 Minuten. Oh nee, da muss ich auch super oft umsteigen, sehe ich gerade. Oha. Nee, 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 der wird auch super um.
To go
So.
back, to have it all over again? Wait, hang
Die
on.
Gamescom ist in
I don't
Köln.
recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, who God, no. Stanley
Steam
is a collection of
reviews.
reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Weiß ich nicht. Bin gespannt. Not recommended.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny!
Ach, davon ist
I'm
das.
trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into
Ah,
the
okay.
Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered
Dann komme ich, der jeden Donnerstag mit Zug fahren muss. Okay, gerade nicht, weil Ferien, aber trotzdem.
web of profound philosophical insight.
Aber hey, ich habe ein Deutschland-Ticket, also alles gut. Hier ist der Hauptbahnhof. Wow. Bei mir wahrscheinlich auch super weit weg, glaube ich. Ich schaue nach. Nürnberg. Ja, 6 Stunden. Wow. Bisschen weit weg, 6 Stunden.
That I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oha. Krass. So.
Let's see
Weiter der.
what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, his preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm
Doch.
preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather
Oha,
terse to
krass.
begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it, well,
Warum kann ich mit den Maustasten eigentlich nach vorne
maybe
gehen?
it wasn't.
Das ist interesting.
What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I
Interesting.
feel like a failure.
Mir war diese Woche, dieses Jahr gar kein Weihnachtsmarkt.
Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Wollte eigentlich kurz mit Kollegen dahin gehen, aber es hat sich da nicht gelohnt.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button.
Das ist ja cool.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Okay. Dann
And
bei
here
Ihnen.
it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by...
Okay.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at
Doch,
any rate,
kannst
I
du.
do suggest that we not press the button. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
Oha.
I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those
Das kennst du?
walls
Oha.
1,000 times. And there's no door.
Hast du auf YouTube gesehen?
There's
Oh.
no door. Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Krass.
You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
Keine
I've
Ahnung.
been sitting here all
Oh,
that
der Strom
time,
ist nicht
just
bezahlt
sitting here.
gewesen.
Not a single person to speak with.
Vielleicht
And
Stimme
you'd
weg.
think that that's just
Alles
how
eingekracht.
it's
Oh.
always been. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here
Hi.
again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel.
Ich glaube, der Zähler ist weg. Cool. Der Knopf funktioniert. Ah, jetzt. Oh Gott. Was ist das denn? Ich glaube, die Batterien sind leer.
But they didn't understand
Oh.
the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down.
Jetzt so wieder weg. Oh, die Uhr ist runtergefallen. Wie auch immer das passiert ist. Interesting. Der Pflanze geht's auch nicht mal gut.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Okay. Oh. Das meinst du, glaube ich. Jetzt ist es ja alles eingekracht. Krass. Noch mehr. Gleich, okay. Oh mein Gott. Die Natur holt sich alles zurück. Sind das Kirschen? Ne, das sind keine Kirschen. Ja. Das sieht cool aus. Hier konnte ich doch Kirschen sehen. Kirschen sehen ganz anders aus. Aber Video weg. Oh, okay. Ah, ich kann ja außen rumgehen. Witzig. Oh. Das klingt nicht so gesund, sag ich mal. War ziemlich creepy. Cool, ich kann rausgehen. Mein Knopf ist kaputt. Alles weil Rocket League. Der Knopf ist kaputt. Dann ist immer noch so verwirrend, dass ich mit den Maustasten laufen kann. Ah, Freiheit. Ist das nicht schön? Aber wo sind denn alle? Oh, wir noch mitten im Nix. Yay, ich bin frei. Juhu, aber irgendwie ist ja niemand. Weiß ich nicht. Oh. Okay.
All
Interesting.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Right.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New Content. Extra mitten. Da gehen wir doch
Oh,
rein.
good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay. Oh nee, nicht schon wieder der Aufzug da. Uff.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further.
Oha.
Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Yo. Oh mein Gott. Cool. Coole Tassen.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor
Apple.
additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged
Time to wake up.
new experience.
There's
built from
never
ground
the
up.
end
Why, there's so
again.
many
Go to
possibilities.
7.
It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Investor Showcase is Stanley Parable 2.
Calling it the Stanley Parable
Taste
2
the
is
sequel.
just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Just the two of us, we can... Also mit 2. Oha. Okay. They're back. 2 doors. Cool. New content is out. New content is in. New hotness. Okay. Lurk, alles klar. Viel Spaß im Lurken. Welches finde ich am schönsten? Weiß ich nicht. Sind alle irgendwie komischer. Wobei... Nee, der ist fürcht. Das ist das ganz unten. Thanks for attending my meeting. Das finde ich am besten. Das sollte Title Screen werden.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
New features. New content. Cooler Bus. Okay. Hoch geht's. Oh mein Gott.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Merch. Kommt da wirklich was, wenn man den QR-Code scannt? Das will ich jetzt wissen. Hallo? Warum scannt er den jetzt nicht? Achso, warte mal, ich kann ja auch einfach QR-Code scannen. Da haben wir es. Link öffnen. Oh, ich muss kurz weg. Ich bin gleich wieder da.
Nein! Okay. Ich weiß nicht, was es nennt, aber du musst halt immer über diese Äste springen, sag ich mal.
Sowas kann ich. Hoffentlich.
Richtig. Die
Oh nee, das ist so
langsam.
langsam. Warum ist das so langsam?
Wir werden schon mal schneller. Wow.
So viel zum Thema, ich kann das. Das ist wirklich eklig. Du solltest es besser nicht anfassen. Oh mein Gott, ich fasse das GIF an. Was macht ihr jetzt, Spiel? Was macht ihr jetzt? Ich fasse es an. Oh nein, meine Hand ist immer noch gleich. Cool. Von 2018, das ist schon ein paar Tage her. Bin ich komisch, wenn ich sage, dass ich mal auf eine Pizza Apfel getan habe? Wahrscheinlich. Fragt nicht. War neugierig. Oh Gott, wie mache ich das? Neue. Oh Gott. Socken. Ja, verdammt. Kriege ich nicht hin. Oh Gott, jetzt ist mein Licht hingefallen. Eieiei. Jetzt ist mein Licht hingefallen. Oh Gott. Ah ja. Das ist schön, dass die ganze Zeit sie hier, wie alt war ich? 2008? Nee, 2003, nicht 2008. Upsi. Ja, da war ich auch gerade mal. Äh. 1. Warum wollte ich 3 sagen? 1. Ich mag das Dreieck irgendwie. Ich weiß aber nicht warum. Ich weiß nicht wofür, aber irgendwie mag ich das. Und das auch. Okay, da kommt irgend so ein Video. Ja. Aber kein Merch. Das ist ein bisschen schade. Ich hätte das Merch gefeiert. No Screenshots. Sein Beruhigungseimer beruht auf ein unendliches Loch. Wo soll ich denn anfangen überhaupt? Gehen wir es mal hier hin.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Yeah. Dankeschön. Oh, mir schon so viel
Can
besser.
you feel it?
Ja.
The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Cool. Kann ich den einmal behalten? Das wäre ziemlich cool. Probieren wir es aus. Dann nehmen wir wieder gehen. So. Cooler Eimer. Ich behalte ihn.
Does anyone
Nice.
give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
Weiß ich
That
nicht.
really should be an award if it isn't already.
Ah. No Screenshots, okay. Merken, macht keine Screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I
Okay.
think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you
Was?
go with?
Hä? Wo entscheide ich? Ach ja! Ah, Happy 12th Birthday. Get well someday. Vorhin mag das Someday. Aber ich glaube, ich bin eher für Happy 12th Birthday. Step nice.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday
Hey!
it is.
Was soll das denn? Okay. Get well someday.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No,
Ja,
I've
hättest
made my
du.
decision. We're moving on.
So, wo bin ich denn jetzt gelandet, Alter? Jump Circle. Gerdet hier eine Trophäe. Free achievement. Get your right up, pull the leader, receive your new achievement, no more steps, adjust the work.
Now,
Bin
here's something
bin
special.
bereit, mir
You
ein
remember
Achievement
that
zu
broken
holen.
test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's
Cool.
as simple as that. Okay,
Hey.
perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a
langweilig.
wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Game. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Sommerwege, gratis Erfolg, unendliches Loch. Infinite Toll. It won't end. Oha. Da bin ich gespannt. So nicht enden wird. Time Death. Time Deeper. Opening Rim. Infinite Hole. Oha.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game.
Okay.
This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever.
Infinite
That's
Hole.
right. Infinite falling.
Das
You
klingt
can fall
aufregend.
until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Oh Gott. Okay, da. Ui, auf geht's. Okay. Wir fallen jetzt unendlich lang.
Isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top.
Was ist denn der
and we can
Teleport-Button?
continue on.
G. Ich würde noch gerne weiterfahren, ein bisschen, ehrlich gesagt.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back
Warum
to the
denn?
top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Warum denn? Das ist doch unendlich, ich kann unendlich lang fallen. Das mache ich jetzt
Okay,
auch.
Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
Warum
Is it a
übertrieben?
very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Oh.
Okay, well, good for you. You
Ach, ich
found
mag
me
es, weil Müll
out.
ist.
You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely?
Ich.
I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Spider-Man, was?
Things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on.
Okay.
I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Schätze müssen wir machen.
Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem
Hey,
is-
warum bin ich das
The
Problem
problem is
jetzt?
that you like holes too much. Not normal, A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
Oh,
Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this
irgendwie
time? I
schon.
couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where...
Oh,
Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
okay.
Well, there it is.
Oh, what?
The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You
That's
just
cool,
do
yeah.
whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Okay. Hallo? Geht nicht. Oha.
Is the teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You
Ciao.
couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone.
Nice.
You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care,
Cool.
Stanley. I
Ciao.
hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Okay. Ich mag das Loch und mein Eimer. Ist das nicht schön hier? Oh Gott, was passiert jetzt? Und sind sogar Zigaretten. Ja, nur viele. Ja. Passiert da auch was? Oh Gott. Yo. Was? Oh mein Gott. Wie cool ist das denn? Ah, die Musik ist cool. Ändere die Perspektive. Oh mein Gott. Cool. Lassen wir so. Ändere deine Wahrnehmung. Oh Gott. What? Was ist das denn? Ändere deine Realität. Oh Gott. Oh mein Gott. Oh, das ist cool. Ändere dich selbst? Oh mein Gott. Yo. Oh. 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 Da sind wir wieder. Hm. Behalten wir. Nein, nicht ihn. Ihn bei. Weil der war noch ein coolerer, glaube ich.
Stanley?
Ja.
Stanley! Stanley!
Hey.
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there. Drifting
Hey.
away into dreamland.
Das war ein cooler Traum.
That's Stanley. Because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole. And I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back.
Okay.
Toodlepip.
Nur zurück sein, sagt er. Okay. Oh Gott. Normal? Cool. Oh. Oder auch nicht. Hey, warum ist abgesperrt?
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Ach so, weil ich hier bin wieder. Bucket waren wir schon, da war ich. No Screenshots. Ja, hier hin. Was ist da? Ist das das Ende? Ja, your name is it.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim. Ich heiße aber nicht Jim.
I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind.
Okay, ich bin Jim.
You are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Yo, er hat meinen Namen gesagt.
Setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first.
Okay.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says. But no. Instead, oh, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Nein! Oh, Langweiler. Meine Güte, ich heiße doch Jim. Okay.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Nicht so sicher.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it?
Oh, nee,
Stanley?
nee, nee, nee.
Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Ich glaube, ich bin noch nicht durch. Bei genauer Überlegung. Der Knopf, der den Namen des Spielers nennt, der das Spiel spielt, Sprungkreis größtenteils unendliches Loch. Sprungkreis. Ich wusste, der kommt nochmal. Oha. Holzweih, natürlich ist ja Holzweih. Oh, Collectibles. Oha, oha, oha. Aber wo ist denn der Sprungkreis? Da ist er. 10 übrig.
You know what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
5 behalte ich. Vielleicht brauche ich die noch. Can you find them? Das ist eine große Frage.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Jo, collectible. Oh mein Gott. 1 von 6. Cool. You found it.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
So, dann glaube ich, haben wir alles gesehen, ne? Ja, Collection Epilogue, Office Decorations, Same Preparation Bucket, Setting, World Champions, was ist Hashtag? Button says a free achievement, this map, Jump Circle, okay. So. Ausgang. Aber
All right.
hier,
Have you seen everything you wanted to?
wo ist dann der
Ready to move
Epilog?
on now?
Jo. Hm. Nein. Ich doch nochmal zum Epilog. Wo war denn der? Das ist die große Frage. Auch wohl bei irgendeiner Treppe. Bei der aber nicht. Es sind überall Treppen, verdammt. War hier doch irgendwo, oder nicht? Ne, jetzt bin ich wieder beim Ausgang. Uff. Da! Gefunden! Was ist da eigentlich? Ah, das war der Raum, okay. Einstellungsweltmeister. That's new. Was ist da? Oh. Was? Okay. Cool. Okay. Lol. Einstellungsweltmeister. Moment. Was ist, wenn ich 72, okay. 5. Es gibt ein Fadenkreuz, was? Oh mein Gott, für Einstellungen gibt es denn? Meine Güte. Nee. Einstellungsweltmeister. Oha. Komm ich jetzt rein? Nee, aber ich will doch ein Achievement bekommen. Oh Gott. Achso, ich kann das auch nur dann auf 85 mal 720. Scroll ein bisschen an. Komm ich jetzt rein? Nö, warum denn nicht? Hallo? Ich habe auch alles eingestellt. Ha. Ich habe doch das Achievement bekommen. Oder ist hier noch irgendwie was? Nö. Warum muss ich die auch noch mal... Funktioniert das jetzt? Nö. Warum komme ich nicht rein? Hallo? Alles eingestellt hier einmal. Hast du das Achievement bekommen? Hm. Oh Gott, ich hab den ja noch. Gott. Ich will kein Fadenkreuz. Ich hoffe, dahinter ist nichts. Okay.
Aha! I can see you've gotten the Settings World Champion achievement. Well done. You've experienced every setting, traveled to all corners of the settings menu. There's nothing
Great job, you did it.
seen. So, just for you, in the Stanley Parable 2, I'm including an entirely new
Warum ist eigentlich... Ach so, deswegen.
setting, something called bumpscosity. What exactly is bumpscosity? Well, I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I just know that you'll be able to adjust it on some sort of slider, and that it'll be available from the settings menu. We'll sort the rest of the details out later. I hope you're looking forward to trying out every level of bumpscosity in the Stanley Parable 2.
Na, okay, das heißt, das war es nicht wert. Aber okay. So, gehen wir zum Ende. So. Wo ist denn das Ende nochmal? Verdammt. Da irgendwo, ne? Da Exit gefunden. Ausgang. Bim, 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 bim. Ist das eine Tasche? Cooles Bild. Okay, no Screenshots, merkt euch das. Ich mache ja keinen
Stanley, what do you
Screenshot.
think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes,
Weiß
I
ich
know it's
nicht.
not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Jo. Okay. Cool. Jump Circle 36.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it.
Warum
Tastefully,
nicht?
of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2.
Jo.
Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay. Jo, The Stanley Parable 2. Oh mein Gott. Das ist jetzt so anders. Habe ich jetzt einen Eimer?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
Jo.
room. Stanley
Kann
picked
ich
up the bucket.
mich mit den Eimer einsperren? Nein, kann ich nicht. Verdammt. Schade. Das ist so cool gewesen. Ich weiß, wo ich hingehe.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his
Oh,
This
ist ein
was not
Tester.
the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. "No," said the bucket. "Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah. Good," said the bucket. "Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
Da
There's
ist ein
something up there I
Produktefüll.
need you to do." Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Okay.
No, stop. Look
Hey.
there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right
No
there. It says,
buckets.
"No
Ernsthaft?
buckets past
Oh
this point."
Gott.
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what
Ich
isn't a
weiß
bucket?
nicht, was ein
I
Bucket
suppose
ist.
that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a
Okay.
moment.
Is this a
Now
bucket?
then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Okay.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Spannend. Oh, schwierig.
Is this a bucket?
Aber ich glaube.
Correct.
Was?
It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Lol.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Nein.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Wow.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect.
Oh.
This is a bucket.
Verdammt, hätte ich wissen müssen.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Warum der da hingekommen ist. Normal. Okay.
Is this a bucket? Correct. This
Was?
is a bucket.
Okay. Wenn du es sagst.
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Was? Richtig und falsch? Oh Gott. Ich habe keine gelbe Auswahl.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
Oha.
I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from
Nein!
Okay, here we go.
Nicht die Eimer.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every
Scheinbar.
single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that.
Okay.
Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Weiß ich auch nicht. So. Oh Gott. Bin schon so lange live. Was?
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it?
Was?
Is this Stanley's office?
Warum ist das nicht the right office?
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Mir nochmal in die Besenkammer.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps
Tips
his
for
boss's
not getting
office was where
fired.
he'd find answers.
Okay.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The
Nein.
broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that,
Was?
can't you? The aura of jealousy, it's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I
Nein,
can
tut
really
sie
feel it
nicht.
now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I'd never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Okay. Jo.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all.
Was
Here we
denn?
go.
Yo, Property of
There.
Stanley,
Now it's
cool.
settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Nice.
See,
Eimer.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
Hm.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not,
Aber das ist
you can
alles
look
ein
down at this
Eimer.
sticker and say to
Oh,
yourself,
verdammt, das soll ich jemandem
"Ah,
sagen.
it's a bucket." There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
I don't know what.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Was hat er denn immer gegen diese Besenkammer? Ich mag die immer noch. Nichtsdestotrotz, auch wenn er meinen Eimer haben wollte.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
You
Found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't
Nice.
buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay. Oh, wir sind
But
wieder
Stanley
hier.
just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal,
Was?
everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
What?
Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it.
Oh,
Far
nein.
off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's
Oh, wo ist er?
the bucket.
Ich muss ihn finden.
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by
Oh,
one bucket
einmal,
after
das
the
sind die
next.
nicht.
None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Was?
It was incredibly
Wie
painful.
in mir.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh Gott.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket.
Was?
Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his
Wenn er seinen
bucket.
Eimer hätte.
Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place.
Oh, wow.
How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But
Krass.
of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Oha. Krass. Naja, dann würde ich mal sagen, das war's für heute. Vielleicht machen wir das morgen nochmal, weil ich glaube, es gibt noch viel zu sehen dort. Also mal schauen, ob wir es morgen nochmal machen. Aber das war's jetzt mal für heute. War auf jeden Fall ein schöner Stream. Mal schauen, ob wir es morgen machen, aber ich denke schon, weil warum nicht? Und morgen ist übrigens mein letzter freier Tag. Leider, leider. Aber ich hatte 4 Tage frei, aber ist okay. War ein schöner Stream. Vielen, vielen Dank an jeden, der da war. Mehr cool. Morgen mal schauen, ob wir dann dort weitermachen. War auf jeden Fall cool. Gibt es wahrscheinlich, glaube ich, noch eine Menge zu sehen. Also mal schauen. War auf jeden Fall ein schöner Stream. Vielen, vielen Dank an jeden, der da war. Mehr cool. Bis dann und tschüss.